That's such a influencer thing to say though. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Hello, my name's Clarissa and I'm an aspiring clothes maker from Glasgow, Scotland. This is where I talk about all the crafty projects I've been working on. I'm outdoors today, so I'm trying not to speak so loudly. And I'm really conscious of the people around me. I don't see any neighbors, so I don't think they'll be able to hear me speak anyway. I could just be doing one of my presentations for work. Today I've got one finished object and 3 works in progress. I've also got some acquisitions, and at the end of this video I wanted to share with you my plans for this weekend's Scottish Yarn Festival. So I normally like to watch knitting podcasts while I'm knitting myself, so if you are the same, grab your favorite project and let's get into it. My only finished object to share with you today is my vanilla socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. I don't think I've spoken too much about this in detail before, so I thought I'd share with you some of my thoughts about this. So the pattern that I chose was one specifically for learning the magic loop method, which was really cool. I knit the size medium and I used 2.25mm needles. I did not gauge swatch because I was watching like the sock tips video of Handmade by Florence, which I'll link below, and she did not recommend gauge swatching. So if you think otherwise, please let me know. I didn't have any issues anyway, but there you go. The yarn that I used is the Woolyknit sock yarn. It's 90% merino and 10% nylon. It's a lot thicker than I thought it would be wearing it. So while I was knitting it, it felt really thin because it's fingering weight. Is it fingering weight? Yeah, I think it's fingering weight. It must be. It does say that it's 3-ply. What does that mean? I need to know more about yarn to be able to give you important information. Anyway, while I was knitting it, it felt really thin, but then when I wore it, it felt really warm and thick. So it must be the wool content, but they're really good. It's the only thing that's kept my feet warm at night. So I'm a tropical lady living in Scotland, and in the evenings my feet are always like eternally ice cold. And even if I wear socks, or even like the thick socks you get from like Primark or somewhere like that, it did not keep my feet as warm as these did. So these were really, really good house socks. I did wear this a few times outside with trainers, but it didn't really feel that comfortable. It's still it's not soft enough to wear with trainers. It might be nice with boots. We'll try this coming autumn and winter if that'll be nice. The yarn ended up a little bit stinky. No. When I first knit this up and blocked it or washed it and laid it out to dry, it smelled really bad. Like, I don't know what it was, like chemically. It was just really stinky, and I couldn't figure out why. Like, I washed it a few times with wool wash, and then I even tried dish soap because Rebecca in the Crabea podcast a few podcasts ago recommended washing like woolly wools, like Woolyknit 100% British wool with dish soap, and it'll make it softer. I tried that and it's still really stinky. It's only this morning when I watched this yesterday. It's only this morning when I realized actually it doesn't smell as bad as it used to be. So thankfully it washed out. It just took a few washes to get that stink out. It must be like a normal wool smell, because I don't think it must be part of the process of creating yarn from wool, because it's not, it's just really stinky, but it it smells like chemically, like something to do with the process rather than like it was left in a stinky place or something like that. And I worn this a few times. It's worn all right. There's a bit of felting at the like at the bottom of where my feet go, and I suppose that's normal. I don't know if other sock yarns, I don't know, felt less or felt later on in its life. But this is a, yeah, it could be because it's a 90% wool and just 10% nylon. I've never put this in the washing machine though. I've always just hand washed it, mainly because of timing. It's not really to do with me not wanting to put it in the washing machine. I should be able to, but because it's already felted, I'm kind of wary. I might not, because it takes a lot of time and effort to knit a pair of socks. Like, I know I can repair it, but still, it'll take it, because it's taken that much time. I kind of would rather just take care of it and just wash it by hand. All right, so this is the first sock I made, and you'll see that the stretch is quite nice. And the second one, oh, I suppose it's not so obvious, but it's not that nice. Like, it's quite tough at the top. I'm not sure what I had done differently. I think it's because I didn't rewatch the Crazy Sock Lady's video on how to cast on. I just did like a normal long tail cast on. And I think in a normal long tail cast on, you start off with a slip knot and then you do the long tail cast on, right? But then I think for socks, what I should have done is, instead of a slip knot, is I just kind of make a loop with my needle and then proceeded with a long tail cast on. I think that's how it's done. I think so, because it doesn't look massively different. The cast on looks the same. So I should also just probably watch that video again and see where I had gone wrong. I cast on the medium size, and you start off with 64 stitches. I'm sure she gives the numbers in the video, so I'm not giving away any proprietary information. The size of the actual sock is fine, but I think I would have liked the leg section to be looser, or at least maybe the cuff. Maybe it's to do with my cast on, I'm really not sure. But because it goes up here, like, my constitution must be really weird, because my ankles are quite small, but my leg kind of goes outwards like that, and it just didn't fit well. Maybe either I'm just meant for shorty socks, or I could do something about the cuff and this section and the leg section to make it fit my leg better. I think I was a little too confident in knitting the second sock and not rewatching the tutorial, because in addition to the cuff being not as stretchy, I have ended up with a couple of holes in the heel flap, like right before there, if you can see that big hole there. There's also a big hole here, and that's because I didn't pick up an extra stitch and then reduce. I think that's not right. What I had done was I followed the pattern. So in the first sock, I picked up 2 extra stitches and reduced twice in the next row. Whereas for this one, I followed the second sock. I followed the instructions and picked up only 1 extra stitch on each side, and then reduced that one stitch in the following row. I should have just done what I had done here, because in the first sock you don't really see the big hole. Oops. Yeah, you don't really see it, not like here. It's a little bit more embarrassing to film out here, but I wanted to take advantage of the nice weather and stay outside. Alright, I'll move on to my works in progress. So the one work in progress that had a lot of love in the last couple of weeks is my Salty Days sweater by Kutupakika. Here is my progress. I have finished one sleeve. You can see all the places where I did my decreases, and I've completed it. I've bound off with the tubular Italian bind off. That's why it looks so nice and neat. With the sleeve, I'm hoping, well, even with the body, because it has a lot of ribbing section, 2x1 ribbing sections, particularly here. I'm hoping this blocks out and it becomes kind of stretched out that way, so that the shape won't be kind of sucked in and it'll be a little bit boxy and more oversized than it currently is. One of the things that I learned while knitting this sweater is how to pick up stitches evenly. So Veronica Lindbergh, the designer, she created a video tutorial on this jumper, and in her pattern, she says to pick up X number of stitches for the collar and for the sleeves, and she doesn't really say how to do it, like how many pick up every stitches in every row and then you skip whatever number of stitches every so often. She doesn't really give you that instruction, and she explains it's because the maths are really complicated to do it that way. So I had done the collar before doing the sleeves because I wanted to see what it would look like, and I'm so happy I did because I love this collar. Like, it's, if I were to do if I were to like knit a sweater from my brain, this is the kind of collar and the number of stitches and everything that I would be following. So anyway, back to the thing that I learned. What she did was to divide the sleeve. So she showed this with a sleeve, and she divided the sleeves into 3. But what I had done was I divided the collar in 4 sections, and that allowed me to pick up an even-ish number in each section. So let's say I needed to pick up 40 stitches. I just needed to pick up 10 stitches in each of the 4 sections. So I thought that was such a good tip. It was a really good idea. So I did that for the collar and I did that for the sleeves. And another thing that I learned was that you don't actually get, so this is my first drop shoulder pattern, and you don't get the same kind of large holes you get in raglan sweaters, where you need to pick up extra stitches to cover up the holes that you'd end up getting in the sleeves, in the what is this underarm area called? Arm side? Is that right? Anyway, this area. And yeah, you don't get the big holes. These are on purpose because they are eyelets, but they are not the big holes that you would get in raglan sweaters. When I picked up stitches for the collar, I noticed that I still had quite large holes. I don't know how to show it properly because you don't see it anymore. But anyway, I had quite large holes where the purl stitches were. So the collar is done in twisted ribs. The knit stitches are twisted and the purl stitches are normal. But in the first row, when I picked up the stitches, because there were big holes, I twisted the purl stitches so that it would cover up the holes that I saw, and I think it worked. I noticed that it worked a lot better in the shoulder section, and I just want to point out how nice that looked. Like this knit stitch from the shoulder up to the front, and it's continuing down that way. Isn't it so neat and so nice to look at? But anyway, yeah, at the purl stitches, I twisted the purl stitches so that it would close up some of the holes. I don't really see it anymore here, but I guess when I was knitting them, it was really obvious. It may have helped when I sewed down the collar as well. So what I previously in other sweater patterns that I had done, I would knit the collar, the folded collar down onto this stitch, but then for this one, because I was kind of afraid that I would knit it too tightly, because I knit quite tightly, I decided to just cast off really loosely. I think I even used one of the really stretchy bind offs, and then it might have been Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, I think, and then I just sewed it quite loosely to the downwards to the back. And I think it's turned out quite nice and loose, so I'm not struggling to get my head in there. I forgot to mention that the yarn that I used was Sandnes Garn Double Sunday in pink, and the Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair in Poppy Rose. I really love the yarn. Like even the mohair, it's really comfortable on the skin. I really like it, but that said, I think this will be the last mohair project for the year. I don't think I can work with mohair, even more mohair, just because it really gets in everywhere. Like, if you could see, I'm wearing a black dress and it's just all over my black dress. I kind of don't want to show you because my dress has lots of stains, and that is just the nature of having a toddler and taking care of him and feeding him, and then him just putting his hands, lips, mouth all over me and getting his food all over my clothes. But that means he also gets mohair all over him, so I think, yeah, I'm gonna steer clear from mohair for a while. Yeah, I think that's everything I have to say about this sweater. I'm really proud of it. I hope that the next time I speak to you, I'll have finished this second sleeve. This is what I've been working on the most anyway. My next work in progress is the Moby Mini sweater by Petite Knit. Here he is. This is for my toddler Jack, so I'm calling this a he because this is for him. So yeah, not much progress. I finished the back yoke and one shoulder, and I'm working on the left shoulder now. Yes, and I'm still so proud of the join and just how neat the cable join is and the moss stitch. Like, it's just a really cool pattern. So the reason I have not had much progress on this is I've been working on the Salty Days sweater a bit more, and I've been learning that I prefer to finish a garment before working on the next garment. So because they're both sweaters, it just, even if one is a lot smaller than the other, I just want to finish one first, like full on. I just want to finish quickly and just get working on it before I work on the other one, because it makes me feel like that will get me to the end product faster. That makes sense. But I do like having other projects on the go. So for example, I have a basket bag, the SA basket bag, and that's something that's easy to knit, to take with me when we go on road trips, or it's easy to knit late at night when I'm just trying to wind down to go to sleep. Whereas if I have two, I don't know, textured projects, like, I would rather just finish one and then move on and then go to the next one, rather than have them both going at the same time, because it feels like there's not a lot of progress in either one, and I'm a progress kind of gal, I think. Okay, that's really embarrassing. The granny putting up my neighbor's clothes up. Just took a look and noticed that I was speaking to a camera. All right. But you're on my phone, so it might look like that I'm speaking to an actual person. But we'll pretend that we're speaking to an actual person because I'm so embarrassed. To those working on several projects at the same time, what do you do with your notions bag? So that's one of the things that I've been struggling with a little bit. Alright, so my cable needle sits with the project with a cable. But then everything else, like stitch markers, I've got stoppers at the end of the needle, and I've got the scissors and the tape measure, the rule, like, you know, the little notions that you will probably need in all the projects. Like, how do you deal with that? Do you transfer them in every project bag that you put it in, that you're working with? Or do you have a little notions kit in each project bag? Do you leave it out of your project bag? So if you're going away, you just take the project bag and your notions bag? Yeah, let me know. I'm really interested because I'm trying to figure out what to do with my notions pouch. I again forgot to mention the yarn that I'm using is the West Yorkshire Spinners Bo Peep Luxury Baby DK in the color Tin Man. This is 52% Falkland wool and 48% nylon. It's really nice. It's really soft. I mean, I think I'll only have opinions about this after I wash and block the project, and Jack might have opinions about it as well. So I'll let you know when that happens. I'm now really embarrassed, so I'm gonna move swiftly on. My next work in progress is the Eze basket bag by 2 of Wands. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. Can someone please tell me how to say it properly? Because I feel a little embarrassed when I say things incorrectly. So here she is. I'm so proud of it. Like, as my first crochet, like big crochet project, I think this is really good going. This is the spike stitch. I hope I'm doing it right. Even if I'm not, I quite like how I'm doing it. I think it's to get a lot bigger. I'm a little bit sad about my color choice. So the yarn that I'm using is Drops Paris. It's 100% cotton, and I'm using the color Almond. Drops Paris doesn't have a lot of nice colors, or colors that I like, or was close to the basket bag that I really wanted to make. And this color it reminds me of, so if you've ever been to the Philippines, or if you like Filipino food, you might have encountered something called chocolate. It's like a peanutty chocolate. It's not actual chocolate, but I don't know how to describe it, but this is what it reminds me of. It's not like your Dairy Milk, Cadbury milk chocolate, like proper chocolate, and it's definitely not like your dark chocolate. But it's like an almost chocolate, which is why it annoys me a little bit, because I'm not very in love with the color. But I didn't want to spend on a project that I may not complete, and I wasn't sure of crochet, like if I wanted to do it. It's starting to become a little bit of a slog, like it's a little bit of a chore. That said, though, this is a really good project to take along on trips. So I took this with me when we went to Dumfries on a little foraging trip. My husband likes to forage, and I thought it was a good size. So it lives in this hashtag We Are Knitters project bag that I purchased a long time ago. This project doesn't require any notions apart from the beginning of the round marker and the hook that I'm using. It's a 6mm size J clover hook, and yeah, it's really portable. And I think because you only use a hook rather than 2 needles, it just feels a lot easier to travel with. So this project has gone through a few iterations. I frogged this project twice. So the first one, I think I had gone up to maybe 1 or 2 rows of the spike stitch when I realized that the hook that I was using was too small. And that's just the nature of me not gauge swatching and not knowing really how to gauge swatch something that's round. Like I said in the last video that I would watch crochet videos, but I haven't yet. So if you can recommend anyone in the crochet world, anyone that you enjoy watching, please let me know. yeah, so I frogged this once because of that, and the second time I frogged this was because my spike stitches were much too tight. So I maybe I was about 5 or 6 rounds of doing spike stitches when I decided I need to rip it back, because I couldn't get the hook through this to the second row below, and it was too tough because I think the way I was crocheting as a beginner, I was just pulling on the yarn too tightly, and it was a pain to do. So I decided to just rip back and do it again, and make sure that I'm not pulling on the yarn too tightly. The next project in my queue is the Mountain Walk Socks by Florence Miller, or Handmade by Florence. I intend to use this. I showed this yarn in a hank the last time. So this is the Cascade Heritage sock yarn in the color Thistle. So last time, as I said, I showed this in a hank, and between then and now I purchased a Swift because I really wanted to be able to cake this. Make a cake, wind the hank up into a cake so that I could knit with it. And I wanted to purchase more hanks anyway because the really nice yarns come in hank form. Not sure why. I'm really not sure why. Maybe hand dyers are only able to do it that way without a machine. But this is not hand dyed. I really don't know why. Anyway, this is the Cascade Heritage, and it's all caked up, ready to go. It's so pretty. The smell isn't that bad. But it does have that hint of the sock yarn, of the Woolyknit sock yarn smell that I was talking about earlier. So it must be to do with the process of making yarn. Lanolin? Is that a thing? I don't know if I'm making that up. Okay, so I have the pattern purchased. It's in my notes. I've got it ready to cast on, and I think I'll be casting this on today. Just because I'm feeling a little bit not so motivated to crochet the basket bag. I don't know if it's because of the color or if because crochet just isn't my thing, or I'm just at that point where it's just so repetitive. It must be like knitting stockinette in the round, which is nice sometimes, but not so nice a lot of the time. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it properly. So I have one yarn acquisition. I say one, but it's like 10 balls of the Sandnes Garn cause. It's in the color 4333. I'm sure it has a proper color. I didn't realize the construction of this yarn is so interesting. It's like there's a net. Can you see it? So it's quite fluffy, and I'm hoping it won't be as fluffy as mohair, as sheddy as mohair. But I like the halo that it's got. The type of yarn, it's just, is it blown? Is that what this is? It's 62% baby alpaca, 9% wool, and 29% nylon. So I bought this because I was so inspired by the Salty Days sweater, and I really love the actual making of it and the end product that it's going to be. And I was looking through Veronica Lindbergh's other patterns, and I saw the sorbet sweater, and I thought, oh, that's so cute. I wish I could make that. And the way she had made it in the pattern was like 4 strands held together, 2 strands of something, and 1 strand of one kind of mohair and another strand of another kind of mohair. And I'm like, right, I can't afford that much yarn. But then one of the options at the bottom of it's not in the pattern because I don't think I've bought the pattern yet. It's in the description in Ravelry. One of the options was to hold 2 strands of this Sandnes Garn cos, or 2 strands of another drops. Wait, was it drops alpaca? I don't know. Another drops yarn. So I thought, perfect. And then I purchased this yarn from knit.co.uk. She was having a sale, like a 1 day sale, 15% off or something. And I really wanted to buy something because before then I was thinking, I wish knit.co.uk would go on sale, and because I couldn't find yarns that she stocks, like Sandnes Garn, nothing for all of the things. I couldn't find them anywhere else that would run sales. So I decided, okay, next time knit.co.uk runs a sale, I'm gonna buy something from Sandnes Garn or something for all, because I really really like the yarns that I purchased from them before, and I'm so excited to try this Sandnes Garn cos. The color is really cute. I don't know why I keep sticking with pink. It's just the color of my season, I think. It's either, last time it was blue and gray, and I thought, oh, that's so dreary. I kind of want something with a bit more life, and now I'm doing pinks. That's just the way it is now, I think. So this weekend is the Scottish Yarn Festival. It's up in Perth, and I'm going on this Sunday. I'm really excited, and you know, it's my first yarn festival. It's my first festival at all. I don't think I've ever been to anything like this, even a music festival, and yeah, I'm really excited to go. And I thought, they released the floor plan of where all the vendors are going to be and things like that, and I thought, oh gosh, I'm going to be so overwhelmed by the choice. I don't have enough yarn knowledge to make sensible decisions, and I don't have unlimited resources to just buy all the things that I think are pretty, so I decided I should come prepared. I've created a bundle on Ravelry of patterns that I'm thinking I want to knit in the next few months. You can only buy yarn if it matches any of the patterns that I have on this bundle, and then I think I'm going to give myself one yarn purchase, like off-piste, that is not in my pattern bundle. I'll put a link to the bundle in the description below. In my bundle, I've got a couple of gloves, a hat, a few cardigans, and some sweaters, and a couple of sweaters for my baby, which I'm really excited to knit. The Selbu coat, I think this was mentioned by one of the podcasters I was watching recently, and she said that it was a good first try of stranded color work. So I'm really excited to try this. I think it requires you to steek the cardigan as well, but I was watching Me Knits steek her cardigan the way she had done it, and I feel like I can do that. I think that's doable. So yeah, I'm excited to try both stranded color work and steeking if I'm able to find yarn that will match this pattern. The other one that I'm really excited to try is actually all of them. Now I can't decide which one I'm going to talk about first. Maybe the porcelain sweater and the heirloom quilt cardigan, because those are also color work. Is this color? How do you know? It's flat stranded color work, yes. But I'm not sure I have the skills to do this, the heirloom quilt cardigan just yet. If the yarn is available, then it's just a sign that's what I should be knitting next. And the un sweater is something I'm really excited about as well, because it's quite thick yarn, and it's the really big what is that, side slit that I'm really interested in. I think that's really cool, and I think would be really flattering as well. Yeah, of course the Storm Sweater and the Storm Sweater Junior by Petite Knit, because I love the idea of having matching sweaters with my son and me. So again, these are just options of patterns that I might knit very soon if I'm able to find the yarn in the Scottish Yarn Festival, which I'm excited to go to. My husband, myself, my toddler, and our big dog booked an Airbnb for the Saturday, Sunday, and I think the plan is on Saturday my husband's gonna go foraging. Well, we're all gonna go foraging, and he's gonna know where to go and what mushrooms to pick and stuff, and I'm just gonna hang out and just kind of walk with him along with our baby and dog. And then yeah, we'll make a big fun weekend out of the trip, and that's really exciting. I hope you have fun plans for the weekend as well. If you're at the Scottish Yarn Festival, please say hello. It would be lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you made a lot of progress in the project that you're working on, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Stop it! I don't think I did that well, but oh well. Where's my phone? Of course it's there.